Get up, get up, get up. Yeah, I didn't post. I didn't stay on long enough. So now I'm in the house. Working, cleaning my room. It's always good to clean your room. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. Ah, shit. Dropped my damn laptop. Yeah. That was not good. But anyway, what's good, man? I'm just saying, you know, building brands nowadays is differently. You know, back then it was all about getting. Back then it was all about having like let's say for instance when I first started videos, it was one dude, he really wasn't that good, but he had a red camera. And that's what everybody thought made their videos better if you had the red camera. Well, that was 2012. Fast forward to today, they got all these cameras and iPhones and stuff that shoot just as good as the red. You know what I'm saying? And actually, I I prefer the Sony FX3 over the red camera as far as on a running gun because it's easier to move, it's easier to maneuver. My point is saying is that my man's got business because he was the only one that had that camera. Now that everybody got that camera, now business is different for him. Business not the same. So basically saying is that nowadays, if people are into what you're doing, if people are buying into your brand, you have to be a one of a kind. You have to make them buy your brand. You have to make them like your brand. Otherwise, what's going to make them like it? That's one of the biggest things that people forget. When people have a choice, they can always go any way they want to. You know what I'm saying? People got a choice to buy from you now. People got a choice to be, even relationships, which is so crazy. Even in relationships, right? Back then, it used to be people that would have women and they'd treat the women like shit because they felt like, hell, who else you gonna get? But now, it's not like that. Now, it is options. Now it is always somebody for everybody because now you got more access to the world. Shit, somebody can go off and marry somebody in Australia or marry, Turkey or marry somebody in Africa somewhere because we're all connected now. You see what I'm saying? So now people gonna be with you because they want to, which is a good thing. You want somebody to be with you because they want you. Dang. It used to be people in the game, in the business that ran things, you know what I'm saying, with an iron fist. Like, it used to be people that would literally tell you, you're not going to make it in this business because I don't like you, because I said so. And a lot of times, they actually made that happen. That actually ended up being true. People would blackball people back then because it was gatekeepers. It was they ran the industry. And nowadays, every industry has somebody, has no one over it. It used to be like, I remember when I was living in Houston, it was a rapper that said he said he didn't like the radio station person, and they banned him all the way to the point where you never heard his music. Literally banned that man, and it was so messed up because you got because it was a radio station. Radio station had gatekeepers. And with gatekeepers, people gonna do things the way they want to do them. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the saddest things about gatekeeping. Like, gatekeeping is cool, but a lot of times people use gatekeeping for sabotaging somebody's career. You know what I'm saying? By saying, hey, I want to let y'all know, if you work with this person, I'm not gonna work with you. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff used to happen. So nowadays, the good part about it is that you don't have any gatekeepers. Gatekeepers are gone. But the bad part about it is that with the gatekeepers being gone, guess what you're running into now? Now you're running into it's a floodgate. It's a bunch of people into the career that you're in. There's nobody plugging a hole and stopping it, which used to help. Hell yeah. There's so many people right now that's making music, that's making t-shirts and brands. And when you think about that, people making all kind of brands, it do get congested. So you have to figure out what you want to do and what you got to do. And that is, you have to work like you never worked before. You can't just sit up there and expect because you spend one day of working that it's going to happen overnight for you. Plus, for something that I can do easy. But it took me 12 years to get to that point to build that. Well, that's what gatekeepers used to be. Gatekeepers is people you pay. And it used to take thousands of dollars, years upon years of work and all kinds of that for them to have people trust you. You see what I'm saying? And that's one of the biggest things about gatekeeping that it honestly helps. Gatekeeping helps with building talent. You don't have those gatekeepers. Now you lose the knowledge. So the knowledge is what we're missing. We're missing that knowledge. And we can use it. But overall, in my opinion, I think it's better without the gatekeepers because, one, I was a person that felt like I'll never fit in with the gatekeepers. People just naturally wouldn't like me. A lot of times it's because I'm competition. Not like they dislike me, but they wouldn't try to give me the opportunity because they feel like if they did it, I'd turn around and be their competition. And that's the kind of things you in with the gatekeepers because the gatekeepers always looked at me as competition. Therefore, now there are no gatekeepers. A person like me, I don't have nothing to worry about. The key to making it now is you have to keep working. It's like not working out, but worse. Like, you know how you don't work out, and you're not feeling it no more. Then you try and get back to it, and you feel like you never worked out. Just feel like you all bent out of shape. Yeah, that's kind of how the story goes. But it's even worse when you're not building towards your career. Because when you're not building towards your career, what end up happening is that people start forgetting about you. See, I was telling a friend of mine the followers, but she gained those followers 3 years ago, and I told her it's time for her to start building a new audience because the people that she has following her, they've already seen enough. They've already seen enough. They've seen everything. They bored now. They want to see something new. See, it's like myself. Majority of my followers come from 10 years ago. 10 years. So sometimes people will question like, how do you have all of these followers, but your likes is low? Well, I tell you why my likes is lower. My likes is lower because I started off building my Instagram page through the artists I worked with. Some of the artists were started off in Houston, Texas. And then some of the artists were in Atlanta, primarily, I'm building my audience with him and people that listen to his music, and then they got used to seeing me with him. They got used to seeing him in the background on my lives and all that kind of stuff. And then after a while, they stopped seeing him. And then when they stopped seeing him, they stopped being as interested. Now, with them being not as interested, that don't mean they wouldn't be interested in me, but it's like I switched. And a lot of times, shit, for years, in 2022, I barely posted music videos. I don't post a bunch of stuff, so I understand why people would be like, they're not about to watch my stuff as much. You know what I'm saying? But the good thing is that they still exist. And every now and then they may check up on me. So what do? What I do is I need to make sure that I'm always having them, always having things ready. Always having things ready for them. You know, that's one of the key things about it. It's not easy. Not easy doing any of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. Just because it's not easy, it does not mean it can't be done. But what I have to do, I have to work these things up on my own. I have to work these things up to where I can build from it. Because if I don't, what ends up happening is that eventually everybody will leave. It's not easy starting from the bottom. But if you started from there before, it's not hard to get back up when you go down. And I know a lot of people don't know that. You know, I've seen so many talented artists make it. I've seen so many talented musicians make it. And I've seen a lot of talented musicians actually go down. Yeah, I've seen people hit rock bottom. And when those things have happened, I've watched some, damn near all. So watch a lot of people not give up. Watch a lot of people not give up, man. Thing is that I remember when Ja Rule was the hottest artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember what that sounded like, what that felt like. A lot of y'all might be a little too young for 106 in Park. But on 106 in Park, Ja Rule had a video that was #1. You gotta think about how long that is. He had a music video that was #1 for an entire year. That's a long time, y'all. So when somebody does something like that, and then you look up and see, damn, the world then kind of moved on from there. It happens. And it can happen with anybody. Hey. Hey, baby girl. So when I seen things like that growing up, I knew better than to think that anybody would be an exception. No one's an exception. When it comes to music, when it comes to entertainment, come to life, you got businesses that open, you got businesses that close down. You know what I'm saying? A lot of businesses close down. But I tell you this to say that you can always get back up and build again. This is all about how bad you want it. People reinvent themselves all the time. And one of the biggest things about reinvention is belief, consistency. You got to believe in yourself. A lot of people scared to hit the bottom because they're embarrassed of it. But when you done really been on the bottom before, you got to know that it's inevitable that you can be there again. You know, it's like once upon a time, I used to make $1,000. I used to make $1,000. I used to make $1,000 a month, and you know, if I had to go back to that, I sure would. I sure would. I sure would. And it's like, why? Well, because if that's your only way, then what can you do? See, a lot of people so used to having that shit so easily made. Everything comes to them easy. But there ain't nothing you can do. It's like shit, it's times where I had to go back and shoot cheap music videos. I'm not ashamed of doing that. If that's how I make money, I can't be ashamed of making money. And that's how people end up dying. Telly, I need you to read a book. Go read a book. We need to get smart in this house. So, you got to be willing to grow, man. You got to understand that times can get rough. Times can get extremely rough. To the point where you don't know your next move. You don't know your next dollar. But you can't be scared of that. You can't let money make you. If you are only who you are because of money, you got a lot of work to do. Because money is not guaranteed. Money ain't forever. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are like that. It's a lot of entertainers that will admit, without money, they nothing. But if you only know how to function with money, you really don't know how to function at all. Because you got to be that same person. You got to be able to hold that same smile. You get conversations and laughs when you don't have it. Because there will be a day you don't have it. Everybody goes down. No one stays at the top forever. It's impossible. People say, how so? Well, you got to think about it like this. What empire stayed number one forever? Longest reigning empire ain't even the United States. There's people that been reigning longer than the United States. Everything comes up, as well as everything comes down. And nobody's an exception to the rule. It's just like you be old, right? The best place to work in the music industry, if you're doing rap music, is Atlanta. That's the best place to work, Atlanta. There's no place better for you than Atlanta. And why is it Atlanta? Because Atlanta, as far as in the music industry, they don't mind spending money. Other cities, they don't want to spend money. And I mean every city. When it comes to independent work, these cities don't want to. LA, New York, them people are going to always ask you why you charging what you charging. They're always that's what you charge. Then that's what you charge. Atlanta always been a great city for me when it came to the music, to the business and the music business. Always been. I always say Atlanta. I don't care what you say about any place. Niggas gonna $500. I had to tell one of my directors that I manage that he couldn't do a music video for $500. She's like, why? I'm like, cuz if you do this one video for them for $500, they're never gonna pay you. They're gonna always. I said, it ain't cause they ain't got it. It's cause it kills them to pay you what you're worth. And that's disrespectful. Something quick and easy, yeah, I'll let my people do it. Something quick and easy, I'm always down. But not when it's something that take a lot of time. And you talking about motherfuckers going outside and getting their lives in danger, risk getting shot at. You know, it's a couple video guys that got actually killed working on set with rappers. So with that being said, I don't let none of my guys go out there for no $500 to shoot and edit. Fuck no. Go find somebody else that wants to do. Believe in yourself. Of course, with me starting off, you know, I started off doing videos for free. I damn sure did. I started off doing videos for free. But although I did videos for free starting off, that don't mean that I never got paid for other people for doing something. I got paid. I just had to find other ways and other people, other groups of people to get money to. So that's one of the biggest things. Find ways to make yourself proper. But anytime I never felt low on cash, it was always Atlanta that brought me back. Take a break. Atlanta always brought me back. There's no city that brought me back more than Atlanta. It's like people ask me, well, why do you live in LA? Well, I don't live in LA for the music industry. I live in LA because I feel like my kids are protected. I feel like LA don't play that shit when it comes to students in school. Like, they'll lock a motherfucker up. Los Angeles build jails every day. So they don't tolerate all that people. Oh no, LA don't tolerate that shit. Now, if I was a visual effects guy, if I did video effects, I would come to LA. You know what I'm saying? But I still would go to Atlanta first. Because you go to Atlanta to build a name. You come to LA to cash in on it. That's what people don't be knowing. A lot of people come to LA. You had to have worked with somebody before. New York is like I say, if I was a little of the music industry, I would only live in New York because I want to live there. But the problem with New York is it's just too damn. It humbles you, which is good, but there's no room for like family. Like New York is a great place to have friends. That's where I think adults still have friends at is New York. You go to other cities like LA, you gonna have friends in LA, but they're gonna be people that you can benefit from. You know, New York, you can have friends where y'all have nothing in common when it comes to work. So that's why I feel like overall it just depends on where you go. It's best for you. Um, for myself, like I say, I be in LA. Um, overall, it's cool, but needs to say it takes a lot of growth, man. It takes a lot of growth. It takes a lot of patience, and you got to be brave. Cause in the industry, in the world, not even the industry, in the world, like shit, ships sink. It's like the ocean. You go in the ocean, man, the ship gonna sink, and you can't be scared to fly, because when you flying, just shit, the planes can go down too. But that don't mean you stop flying. You fall, you can fall down. That don't mean you don't mean you stop, getting up. You gotta always be willing to try. You gotta always be willing to keep going. Because if you're only willing to try when chance at surviving when things go wrong. That's my thing. That's it. If you only chance when things go wrong. Like that's the truth. That's a quote. That's why I go on my live so I can talk about what I'm talking about. And that's one of the biggest things. If you things go wrong all the time. There's no perfect world. There's no such thing as a perfect day. Such thing as a better day and better days. But there's no such thing as a perfect day. And if you only operate off of that, there's nothing you can do. So know that if you only want to try when things go right, you have no chance when things go wrong. You got to be able to have that same smile. You got to be able to have that same look, that same sparkle. Shit, you still a star even if you broke. You still a star even when you're not known. You don't become a star because you're a star. It's how you got known. That's another one. You don't become a star because you're known. You become known when you are. You become known because you are already a star. That's the truth. You don't become a star because you're known. You become known because you were already a star. That's why people start to know you. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the biggest things that we forget. Michael Jackson been talented. Chris Brown been talented. Michael Jordan been talented. LeBron been talented. Prince, Kanye West, or Playboy Cardi's, Lil Uzi's, Young Thug Futures, they all were stars before you knew them. They are known because they were already stars. So you got to know how to have that same chin up, chest out, shoulders down, and ready to get in there and really strive and work. Because people think this shit always come overnight. And it's just like blackball. It ain't really much to talk about being blackballed because there's no gatekeepers no more. There's no one stopping you anymore. And you gotta have it in you to be strong enough not to worry about that. A lot of people worry about those things because of the fact that they want an excuse, they want a reason why they didn't make it. But nobody's gonna stop you now. Nobody can stop you. You can't even get canceled. Like unless you stop it. It's all about the work and hard work that you put in. That's why I tell people right now, it's the hardest, but it's the easiest. It's hard because there's no gatekeepers. There's nobody you have to go to. There's nobody you have to network with to get on. It's easy because all you have to do is make the product and get it to the people. It's hard because back then Michael Jackson their music to people. They wasn't distributing their music. They wasn't filming their music videos. So it's harder because now you have to do the work. But I rather deal with having to do the work rather than on my own, rather than relying on the gatekeeper to do the work for me. But the gatekeeper may not like me. And the gatekeeper may not like me because they don't know me, don't want to know me. Shit, they got other artists that they want to push. They may know something about me. They don't like me. A lot of talented people didn't make it because of gatekeepers. Gatekeepers made the game. It definitely the quality of music was great. The quality of music the gatekeepers had was way better than it is now. The only problem is that it was a lot more talented people that didn't make it. What's wrong with her? Get her some juice. She whining, she probably thirsty. Yeah, too many emotions get involved. But nowadays, shit, you ain't got to worry about that gatekeeper no more. They gone. Shit, a lot of them gatekeepers is canceled. Hey, little girl. They gone. They canceled. Shit, they can't stop you. So now what do? You just got to do the work. And once you do the work, you build your own label. I've been saying this for years, that artists are the label. I've been saying this for years. The artists, they are the label. That's what it is. The artist is the label. And if you think that you're not, then you ain't ready for this game. Yes, you have to get up. I would like to see artists do more. Artists need to get up. They need to go to skating rings. They need to go to the malls again. Like artists used to do things to bring people out. Artists need to go back to the shoe stores. They need to go back to the basketball games and stuff. Like artists aren't out. A lot of artists just be in the house. They're not active enough as artists. Artists don't even be in the clubs. You used to go in the clubs and see artists. Nowadays, you only go to artists. They only be in the club unless they pay. And I get people saying, well, that could hurt your booking. No, it won't. Because all that's going to do is that's going to make them people who club you went to and you went there for free, they're going to come back and say, you know what? We're going to give you some money to come back, man. We like the energy that the club had when you walked in there. That's all you have to do. It's that simple. It's that you got to put in the work. And every person counts. Every person matters. You can't say like, yeah, I only got 3 views. But if you only got 3 views, you should appreciate them 3 views more than 3,000. Because you got to think about the fact that if only 3 people fuck with you, that's a strong ass group of people. Versus you could have had 0. That's why we have to lose our entitlement. We be too entitled to 1 million views. Yeah, Bad Bunny got 1 billion streams. If I get 16 streams, I never had streams. So if my shit streaming 16 times a month, I'm appreciative of that. The problem is we ain't appreciating what we have. You are not known. You have not sold records yet. Why would you be worried about if you went platinum or not? That's not a conversation for you. Back in the 1980s, Whitney Houston and Sade was doing stadiums. Luther Vandross wasn't. Luther Vandross was not doing stadiums at all, if ever. He never did a stadium. Whitney Houston was doing stadiums in the 80s. Is that didn't stop Luther from grinding, though. That didn't stop him from singing good and making great songs. And that's what's going on, is that we're stopping what we're doing because we're comparing ourselves to Bad Bunny and Drake. Well, you know how long them guys been working? I've been knowing of Bad Bunny since 2017. That's when I've been knowing of Bad Bunny. Imagine how long he really been working. It's people that have been. I knew of Drake. Drake didn't get on to 2009, so it take time. It take time. It take time. But once you get on, shit, you good. And that's one of the things we got to take from it. They super big, but you got to look at them in their humble days. At one point in time, they uploaded some stuff, and they had that many views. Same as The Weeknd. I remember in 2012, people was questioning The Weeknd, saying that, how come The Weeknd didn't cross and did? This was a conversation in 2012. The Weeknd was still basically underground. To me, Weeknd ain't really take off till the end of 2015. That's when it took off for him. And then when that took off, look where he at now. I remember he uploaded a video often. It often had basically 800,000 views after about a year. And once that 50 Shades of Grey came out, it changed everything. All his videos went to 100 million. You got to just keep working. People think that you only work when things are working. You only work because you at the top. Well, it's just like a music video. Although Bad Bunny, everybody starts off with their music video at zero. Everybody starts at zero. It's just like we all start at the age of 0. So start at the age of 6 seconds old to 12 seconds old to 5 minutes old. Like, we all start at that point. It's the same way some people only live to be 12, 10, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Some people live to be 90. Some people live to be 100. We all got different paths, but we all got one thing in common. We started off at 0. So when we compare ourselves, we end up doing ourselves like a real bad disservice to ourselves, because we're not looking at the fact that, like, damn, I'm comparing myself to somebody that's on. They reached their top. And it's like, how soon do you reach your top? When will you become number one? You don't know. But you got to be dedicated enough and passionate enough to work past.